Is a gym a good business to start? We're going to answer that question in this video. Okay, let's rock. Let's talk about a gym and whether or not it's a good business to start. My guess would be that if you're asking that question, you absolutely love working out. You're probably in the gym every day. You might be a personal trainer and you're ready to rock. You're like, I'm ready to go out on my own. I'm tired of just working for somebody else or working at the gym. I want to spread my wings. Okay, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you as a multiple business owner. I own several different businesses. I've got a business partner that owns gyms, multiple gyms, and I can shed a lot of insights on whether or not a gym may or may not be a good idea for you to start. So here's the things that you want to consider. Number one, if you're going to start a gym, I think and I assume that you're going to lease out some space, right? You're going to go to a shopping center. There's going to be some empty building or something that you found and you're like, this is perfect for my gym. You might want to do boxing or MMA, or it just might be like your standard gym, right? Your standard 24-hour fitness or gym like that. Whatever it is, you might have found the perfect stuff and you're super excited and you're passionate about it, and that's great. Because I want you to start, no matter what, any business you start, I want you to be passionate about. But I want you to slow down and I want you to really think about what you're getting yourself into when you're talking about getting into a gym. I had a really good friend of mine back from high school. I've known him since middle school actually, but back in high school, we were great friends, played on the same high school football team together, and I absolutely love this guy. Rod, I love you. And he reached out to me and he said, hey, I'd like to start a gym business. And he's been a personal trainer. He works for a boxing club. He's the perfect person. But I said, there's a lot of things that I want you to consider before you start a business and open up your own gym. And he's like, okay. I said, step one, I want you to send me your business plan. And he did. Maybe it only took him a few days or a week or so, and he sent me his business plan. And it was a good start, a rough draft, a lot of ideas he had already thought about. And that's what I like about starting a business plan is you're forced to really think about all the things that you think you're going to need to start a business. And in most cases, you're not going to think of every single thing. Trust me. There's going to be a lot of things that you leave out. And he left out a lot of things. And that's just normal because if you haven't been into business, there's so much of the back end stuff that you don't even think about. So the one thing I want you to think about first is I want you to understand that if you're going to start a gym, you're competing with some heavyweights. And if you're into MMA or anything like that, think about you being a lightweight boxing in the heavyweight division, right? Or MMA, a lightweight, featherweight fighting in heavyweight, right? It's like it doesn't mesh, right? So if you're going to go against 24-hour fitness and Lifetime Fitness and all these big gyms, you really got to have some kind of a niche that's going to separate you from the rest. Okay, just so understand that that's going to be where you've got to separate. So maybe you're, going to go into some special type of training. And I'm not into, personal coaching and physical fitness training or anything like that. But you've got to find your niche. If you don't, you're just competing with them. And so somebody that likes to go to the gym, I'm a member at Lifetime Fitness. Somebody that's a member of, say, Lifetime Fitness. If you're starting a gym, I want you to sell me and explain to me what you're doing that's so special that's going to pull me away from Lifetime Fitness. Think about that. Because if you're not doing anything special, then what's the point? So maybe like I was talking about earlier, maybe like boxing or MMA, they don't do that at Lifetime. I mean, most Lifetimes don't. I don't know anybody that does. Now, my dad was a boxer back in the day, and I remember he was talking to Lifetime Fitness about, hey, can we get something going? And one of the managers said, well, do you want to be one of the trainers? And my dad's like, no, I just wanted to, box and whatever. Can we get some bags and things like that? So that would be kind of a good niche, right? Because you're offering something that, say, Lifetime Fitness doesn't offer. And Lifetime Fitness employees or management, if you're watching this, that might be something good to add to your Lifetime Fitnesses because there's a huge demand for that. At least, you got basketball and all this other stuff. So going back to it, what niche is going to separate you from the Lifetime Fitnesses and the 24-hour fitnesses and the massive chains that are publicly held companies that seem to have infinite amounts of money to spend on their gyms? Okay, they can spend money on a new pool and a new basketball court and sneeze that money because they got investor money. So my friend that had come to me with the business plan, he had put down his budget. I told him, I said, what's your budget? And unfortunately for him, in my opinion, he way undershot his budget. And it was something like $100,000 or $150,000. And I said, you know what? Just your build out. I mean, if you get a decent sized gym, just your build out might cannibalize a significant portion or all of that money. And then you're not going to have much operating capital. You're going to need operating capital and you're going to want to start making money. So not to be fearful, most businesses take time to get there, but what are you going to do to separate yourself and how much money are you going to need? Some of the things that I had recommended to him is, have you thought about specifically where you're going to lease your space? Because he wanted to open up a spot like in a shopping center or something like that. I said, have you thought about where you're going? Have you thought about how much your lease rate is? Like, your lease rate is going to be your square footage rate, and then they charge you, the landlord's also going to charge you the taxes and insurance on the property. They're going to bill that to you, and then they have things like common area maintenance where all the tenants split up, say like the parking lot cleanup and the snow removal in the winter and replanting the flowers, the landscaping. That gets all billed back to the tenants, and you pay your pro rata share. So you're basically paying the landlord's taxes on the property, your pro rata portion. So if you occupy, let's say you occupy 10% of the whole shopping center, you're going to pay 10% of the taxes of that entire center, 10% of the insurance, 10% of the maintenance, and all that kind of stuff. That comes out of your pocket in addition to your lease rate. So when you're signing up for this, you're signing up, you're going to sign a 3-year, 5-year, 7, 10-year lease or whatever. You're going to be on the hook for several years, okay? And I want you to understand that. That's not something to be fearful for, but I want you to realize that's a reality. So if you're going to get into this, this is something that you've got to commit to 100%. If you're going to lease, this isn't something where you get in 6 months and you realize you've only got 20 members or 50 members and you're not making any money and you're like, gosh, if I don't get to 150 members, I'm not even going to be paying myself any money. All the money that I'm getting from membership fees is going to rent and utilities and my internet bill. And I'm paying my one employee and there's no money for me. I mean, how many months can you go before that becomes like not enjoyable? I want to say not fun, right? How many months can you go before it becomes where you don't want to do it anymore? Well, don't get into business if you're easily a quitter. So I want you to first dive within yourself and say, okay, am I the kind of person that when I commit to something, whether it's a relationship, a business endeavor, a workplace endeavor, whatever, I stick with it? Did you go to college and get a degree? You don't necessarily need a college degree to do this. You don't need a college degree to open up a gym. But I'm saying that because if you went to college and you got a degree, you signed up for something, say 4 years, and you committed to it and you did it. So if you've done anything like that in your life and you know you're a committed person, then business is something that you're probably capable of being successful at, okay? Because it's not for the people that like a lot of change as far as hopping from job to job or, oh, this didn't work out, I did this for a year, I'm gonna go do something else. If you're going to build a successful gym, we already know you're passionate about it. You're going to live or die by this thing, man. You're going to work there. I don't care if it's 7 days a week. Heck, you might set up a couch in your office and you might sleep there from time to time. I mean, I know people with businesses that do stuff like that only because they just know that they got to be that committed. They're like, well, I was here till super late. I got to be here super early in the morning. And maybe you've got a shower at your gym or whatever. So you're like, I'm just going to stay here, wake up, shower, and I'm going to be here for my appointment in the morning. That's dedication. And I know a lot of you are dedicated to do that. So are you willing to put it all on the line? Whether you've saved up a lot of money, maybe you inherited a bunch of money, maybe you've been saving for your gym and you've saved 100K, 200K, whatever it is, or you're going to go out and borrow the money. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to put life-changing money on the table here. And what I want you to do is learn how to protect it. And what I mean by that is don't give up. Do not give up on this business concept because it's easy to give up. It's what separates the winners from the losers. And you know this as a personal trainer. You know this as somebody that works out and somebody that wants to open up a gym. You know that when you're giving it that 15th rep and you're going for 16 and 17 and your body's wobbling and you could barely get that last rep up and you got your personal trainer saying push, 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 and you finally get it up. And then he says, give me 2 more. And you're like, what? I barely got that one up. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So in business, that's what you're going to be dealing with, but it's going to be financial. It's going to be legal. It's going to be employee crap. I mean, there's going to be so much stuff that you have to deal with that it's going to, you're going to remember this video and it's going to put you back to this where you're going to like 2 more reps, 3 more reps. You're going to be having to push and push and push. You know, when you're boxing, you're going to say, hey, I know you're exhausted. I want you to give me another 2 minutes. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? I can barely like lift my arms. And those extra 2 minutes is what separates the winners from the losers. So if you're going to get into a business, understand that you've got to be committed to the end. Even if it means working for free for yourself for many months, maybe a year or 2 years, that's what you might have to do. And if you borrow that money, holy cow, you've got to first make enough money. Have you thought about this? You got to first make enough money, profit after paying your rent and your utilities and all your stuff, to make enough money to pay your note off, to the loan you borrowed. You got to pay all that money back before you technically are making any money. Otherwise, it's just going to haunt you for the rest of your life. So step one is make sure you have enough money. Have you figured out truly what it costs? Have you gone to an architect? Have you gotten bids from contractors to see how much your build out's going to cost? Maybe you do contracting work on the side. You're a handy person and you can paint walls and build and do stuff like that. So you're going to save yourself a lot of money. Great. That's a way to save a lot of money. But if you're going to be doing any money on somebody's shopping center, you're going to have architectural drawings that are approved by the city. And then you're going to have licensed contractors in there that are actually doing the work, things like that. So make sure you go through those hoops. Make sure the zoning, you've gone to the city, the state, to make sure whatever space you're going to lease is zoned for what you're wanting to do. There's a lot of things like that you're going to have to do, and make sure you obviously get your business licensing set up, your EIN number, your payroll, all that stuff. You're going to have to do all that stuff. These are things you have to think about that are going to be ongoing. And you might say, well, I don't want to do that stuff. That stuff's boring. That stuff, it's terrible. I'm terrified to do all that back end work. Well, hopefully you have a spouse or a partner or somebody that can help you do that stuff, because somebody's going to have to do it. Owning a business, I don't care if it's a gym business, a restaurant, whatever you're doing, has a ton of back end work. It's not going to just be you in the gym doing what you love. It's going to be doing a lot of stuff that you don't love, plus the stuff that you love to make that business successful. Okay? So one thing that I'm going to close in this video about my partner that's already got some gyms. I'll tell you the reason that he's successful is he absolutely loves what he does. And he's better funded than the average person is that's getting into a gym. So he's got money, but he's absolutely passionate about his gyms. And so when he wakes up every day, it's what he wants to do. Heck, he even trains in his own gyms, right? And so that's what makes somebody successful, is the fact that they love what they do. And obviously having the money or being able to borrow or get the money is going to be the second piece. Okay, everybody, I hope you liked this video. If you did and you found a lot of this information helpful, please click that subscribe button. I would love to continue to help you out. I've already done a ton of videos, so make sure to watch some of the other ones. And remember, in life and also in business and when you're working out, it's never easy, right? If you want to get to the goal, you got to keep pushing, never give up, and be the hustler.